Hello friends, I am Balaji and today I am going to discuss with you about how to create a language translator application using your C#. At the end of this tutorial, you can able to design an application which work like this. Here, I will enter one text called hello, how are you? And then I click this detect language in order to detect the source language. See here, it is actually printing EN, which stands for English. And then I will click this AC, which stands for available conversion. Now it populates my combo box with all these languages. I will click any one of these language. I will click here French and then I will click translate. Within a few seconds, it will return a result in a French language. Now we will see how to develop this application. In order to develop this application, first create a new Windows based application and then design your form like this. And then set properties, the name properties and text properties of this control like this. And then now we will start write our code. Before we actually write the coding, you actually want to get the API key from Yandex. In order to get the API key, go to translate.yandex.com/developer and then there you can actually get the key. You can click this link and then you can able to register into this Yandex and then you can able to get your own key. I have already get my own key. In order to get that key, you want to use translate.yandex.com/developers/keys. It will show all the keys which we have created. You can generate new key by clicking this create a new key. You can block your existing key by clicking this block button. I will copy this key in order to use it in my application. Before I actually create or set functionality for all these buttons and combo boxes, I will create a new class which hold my application catch like API key, what are the URL I am going to use, like that. It want to contain all that details. So I will create a new class app catch. And then I will move this class to a separate file. And then here I am going to use some of the properties like property string API, and it is a read only property. I will set its value to my API key. And then I also want to give some of the URLs here. For that, property string URL get languages or get available languages. Again, this also is a read only property, so I remove my set accessor and then I will write my URL here, https://translate.yandex.net/API/v1.5, which means version 1.5. /tr.json, which stands for translator.json, /getlangs, which is a service we are going to use. Getlangs is used to get all the available language this Yandex support. And then this is my complete URL along with its path, full path, and then we want to pass some of the query parameters to it. For that I will use question mark, and then here the parameters are key and the input language, the source language. Key is equal to 0 and UI is equal to 1. I will use this URL format in any of my string.format function. So here the UI is the source language and then the key is our API key. Before we actually use this URL, we will test this URL through our REST client Postman. I will copy this URL and then I will open my Postman REST client. Postman is the REST client which is used to send some REST send request to some REST services or send request to any services, and then we can able to get back its response. Here I will use my source languages en, and then I will copy my API key and then I will paste my API key here. Now I click this send button. See, it actually responds with me by this there's and then this langs. We are going to use these langs alone in our project, which stand for languages, and then it contains some of the keys and value AF and AM, and then it contains lot of keys like this. We will use these names in our project when we actually perform translation. Now we will write another URL to access another service. URL deduct source language. It is also a read-only property, so I remove my setter, and then I will write my URL here. https://translate.yandex.net/API/version 1.5/tr.json/deduct, which is the name of my service. Here my service name is get languages, here my service name is deduct, and then my query parameters are key and text. I will also test this service by copying this deduct. I go to my Postman. Instead of get languages, now I am going to test deduct service, and then instead of this UI I am going to use text is equal to hello, and then I will click this send button. See, it is actually showing my result as lang en, which stand for English, and then it also return my status code 200, which stand for success. Now I also want to write URL which is used to perform the translation of one language to another. For that, again read only property URL translate language. I remove my setter. https://translate.yandex.net/API. It stands for Application Programming Interface version 1.5. tr.json/translate, which is my name of this service, and then here the query parameters are key, the text which we want to convert, and then finally our destination language. It's actually a language scope. I will copy this URL and then we will test this on our Postman REST client. So I will copy, or I will change the name of the service here to translate. Text is hello and lang equal to a. See, it is now printing my source language hello on some other language. Likewise, we can able to convert any language to any language. Now my app catch file is ready. I will go to my form and then I will write a handler for all these buttons. First I want to write a handler for this detect language button. So in order to use a REST services, we want to use one library called REST shard. In order to download this library, go to this project, manage NuGet packages, click this browse and then search for REST shard. Here it is. Download this library. Okay. Now I downloaded my library. And then I also want to download another one library called Newton Soft, which is used to parse a JSON file, used to parse a JSON data. Click OK. It's downloading. It's downloaded. Now I go to my form1.cs. Within this btn detect source language, click handler. Go to this handler by double clicking this detect language button. Now I want to create a new REST client. For that, where client equal to new REST client. In order to use this REST client class, you want to import this REST shard. Write this code using the REST shard. And then I will use object initializer to set some of its properties. Here, the URL which we are going to request is on our app catch file. So before that we will actually make all these properties as a static property, such that we can refer to these properties directly without creating an object. So static, I will make all these things as static. And then I will use that app catch dot URL direct source language. I want to pass this URL to new URI, which is used to construct a URI. And then this URL is actually doesn't contain any key and proper text. So we want to use this URL to string.format format, and then we can set the key and its value properly. String.format format. This is my format, and then the value here is key. First one is key. So I will use that key. App catch dot API. And then the next argument for this direct source language is text, actual text. Okay. So here the text is actually present in this text box. Name of this text box is txt source. So I will use txt source dot text. Now create a new REST request by using REST request class, where request is equal to new REST request. And then here the method we are going to use is get method. Means we are not going to update anything on a server, but we are requesting something from a server. So we are going to use the REST get method. So method is equal to method dot get. And then now we actually want to execute this method. Execute, or we actually want to request for this URL. In order to do that, we want to do client dot execute and then we want to pass the request as its parameter. Means we are going to pass a request to this URL by using this HTTP method, get method. And then we will store the result in a where response. Here the response is actually in a iREST response format. Now we have our response, and then we will deserialize the JSON data which we have received. For that, we will use our JSON convert class. JSON convert dot deserialize. Here we are going to deserialize content of this response object. So response dot content means we are going to deserialize the body part of our HTTP response. So response dot content. We are going to deserialize this content to a dictionary format. So I will use iDictionary here. Import all the libraries in order to use this application. Since I am using ReSharper, it actually import all the library for me. But if you are not using ReSharper, means you want to import all the library manually by yourself. Okay. And then I will store this result in where dict is equal to. So here I am deserializing my HTTP body to a dictionary type. So if you want to learn more stuff about how to parse this JSON data and how to create a JSON data and how to parse it means, please refer my video on how to parse a JSON data. I have attached the video link on my description, so please refer it. Now, after we get our response, we will first check whether we have received a positive response or not. We can check that by the status code. If the status code is 200 means the response is come. Our request has been success and then our response comes successfully. So we will check whether our request is success or not. We will use their status code. We will first fetch the status code. It's equal to dict of code. It will fetch the status code of the response. Dot to string. Will convert the status code to a string. I will open my Postman again and then see here. See, all my response carry the status code 200. So I am fetching that status code here. So here I am actually fetching that response status code. That code name is status code name is code. Here we want to check whether if status code is 200 or not. Code dot equals 200. If the status code is 200 means we want to return its language, source language that is available on lang keyword key. So I will set that to my source string lbl source language dot text is equal to dict of lang. I will convert this to a string by dot. Here this lbl lang source lang is here. Name of my label. Now I run this project. I will write any text here, hello, and then I click this deduct language. It takes some time and then see, it is actually printing that key. Now we want to write a handler for this available conversion language. So double click this. Here also I am going to create a new REST client and then I want to set it to some string. So in order to repeat this code again and again, I will copy this common code to my function and then I will reuse this code again and again whenever I want. So private we will return the response to the caller. So the response will be in iRest response. And then request. The name of this function is request service. It will take string str. I will paste the code here. We didn't want to paste this all code here because we will return this response and then the caller can decide what to do with that response. So I will paste that again. I will return this to my caller return. I will call this function from here. Request service. URL here is app catch dot URL direct language. I will store my response. Now we will make a similar request here also from this handler also. So where response equal to request service, here my URL is appcatch dot get available languages, because we are going to get all the available languages. Now we will convert this response data body to a dictionary type. So where dict is equal to JSON convert dot deserialize. We want to deserialize response dot content. We want to deserialize this content to a dictionary type. So we will specify that here. Now we will iterate through this collection, and then we will fetch the thing, all the available languages, and then we will populate that available languages to that combo box which we have created. This is that combo box. Name of this combo box is combo available language. So I will use a loop for each. Dictionary entry. And then here we are going to use that lang key alone. We have already seen that lang key alone have a set of key value pair which contain all the language codes along with its values. So I will check whether if entry dot key dot equals langs, means if it is langs alone we are going to use that, otherwise we are going to skip the rest of it. Here I am going to create a new J object where available conversion or available convert is equal to entry dot value, because here our value is also contains a key value pair. We will again give that response request to that get langs. Instead of translate we want to use get langs, and then we will remove this text, and then we will write UI is equal to E, and then click send. Here our first key is ders, and then our next key is langs, which contains a key value pair. See, all these are key and its corresponding value. So I will use that key value pair. So I will store this value here, and then I want to iterate through that. before that I also want to collect all language code in a separate list, so I will create a new global list. So list of string. Avail languages. Here I will initialize that avail langs equal to new list of string. Now I will iterate through this available convert, meaning we are going to iterate through this key value pairs. So only we have actually get this value whole collection by using entry.value. We have actually get all this collection of values, collection of key value pairs into this available converts, and then we are going to iterate through this collection one by one. Okay. So I will use for each language, and then we are going to add our available languages dot add lang dot key. Means we are adding all our keys to this list, and then we are populating all the language values to combo box. Now I run this project again to test whether all the things are working fine. Hello, I will detect the language, I will convert it. If there is some problem, we will check that. I will keep some breakpoint. Run this project again. Hello, detect. You see. Count these two. Language only. But it is actually printing the response of some other service. See, detect, you see. See, it is not actually our get lang service because it returns to large collections. I think we have written or we have made this mistake inside this method, request to service. So here it is. Instead of using this app-catch.url detect source language, we want to use the URL which we have passed to this method. Here. Now we are in this project again. Hello everyone. Detect available converts. Now it is actually printing or listing all the available languages here. Now we want to convert this source language to some destination language. Means we are going to select some language here, and then when we click this translate button, the correct translation should come here. Okay. So I will write a handler for this translate button. I will move this upward. I will remove these breakpoints. Here also I am going to call this request service. So where response is equal to request service. The URL here is appcatch.translate service. So here also we have left some mistake. Instead of using string.format here, we are going to use that string.format up above on the caller function. So here I am going to use str URL because the query parameter may not be same always, because this service is actually requesting 3 query parameters: key, and then its text, and then its destination language. So I want to use that string.format at the time of calling this function. I have replaced my direct source language caller, and then I want to update my available converts. So string.format. There the first parameter is key, and then the next parameter is our input string, means our source language. Here on the previous case, we have actually, instead of source language, we have actually passed the source language string. Even at that time it actually works, but we will pass the correct parameter now. Catch.api, lbl sourcelang.text, which is our source language. Likewise, we want to use string.format here also. String.format, and then here, the first argument is key, next argument is text, and then the third argument is our destination language. So key is app catch.key.ap, and then our text to convert. So text to convert. The text to convert is present in txt source.text, and then the destination text is present in our combo box. But our combo box actually contains the value of that language. We want to get the key of that value. That we actually store that list, all the keys in a list, separate list called available languages. So we will use that list here. Available languages of combo available languages dot selected index, means we are getting the selected index from the combo box, and then we pass that index to available languages list. That available languages list contains all the code of corresponding languages. It will fetch appropriate code, and then it will pass that code to that function, and then it will construct that valid URL. Where dict is equal to JSON convert dot deserialize object I want to deserialize response dot content. I want to deserialize this content to the same dictionary. Now I want to get the status code of this request, of this response, where status code is equal to desktop code. You will check whether our request has been successful. Our request is success or not. And then you will check if status code dot equals 200 means if our request is success, we want to get that translated text. In order to do that, the translated text is actually a collection. It contains a collection of values. So we want to get that collection, and then we want to put that collection onto this text box. The name of this text box is txt-dest-lang. Okay. So we will use string dot join. First argument is comma, and then the second argument is input of text. This text is the key which contains all corresponding translated values. The value of this text is the translated values. We want to store this result onto this txt-dest-text, destination language text. Now our coding has been over. We will run this application. I will write some string hello, welcome to my channel. Deduct language, available converts, and then use some Indian language which is my native language, and then I will click this translate. See, it actually converts this source string into the proper destination string. Now I will use another format here, translate. Now also it works. I will choose another one, French. Translate. It works. So that's all for this video. If you have any doubts, please comment it out. Thank you and subscribe to my channel. Goodbye.